1%. Say it out loud and it sounds like almost nothing. It's the rounding error on a restaurant tip, the gap between a sale price and the regular price you'd barely notice. So when a financial advisor says their fee is just 1% a year, your brain files it under harmless. But that tiny number is doing a lot of quiet work. When an advisor charges an AUM fee, that's assets under management, they take a percentage of everything you've invested with them. This is a recurring tool on your total portfolio, extracted every single year. And here is why it works. You never write a check for it. There's no invoice taped to your fridge. The money is simply pulled out of your account automatically, usually in small quarterly slices, before you ever look at the balance. You feel a $15 a month streaming subscription because it shows up on your credit card, but thousands of dollars a year leaving your investment account? Invisible. Because the fee is expressed as a tiny fraction, and because we never physically hand over the cash, we fail to scrutinize it like a car loan or a utility bill. To see the damage caused by that lack of scrutiny, we can look at the baseline math provided by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The U.S. government regulator ran a simple projection to show how these fees actually behave. This chart shows $100,000 growing at 4% a year for 20 years. With a highly efficient fee of just 0.25%, the portfolio grows to about $208,000. Applying a 1% fee to the exact same scenario reveals a massive divergence. Same starting amount, same growth, same 20 years. The result is about $179,000. That is a $29,000 gap. This highlighted area represents the true cost of the fee. Every dollar taken for expenses is a dollar that stops earning a return. You lose the capital today, and you lose the 20 years of compound growth that specific dollar was supposed to generate. That 0.75% difference evaporates 14% of the final retirement nest egg. You never feel a single payment leave your hands, yet you finish with a significantly smaller pile of cash. To see what happens to a careful saver over a whole career, picture a guy named Marcus. He's 35, lives in Denver, and has built up about $150,000 in his retirement accounts. Marcus meets an advisor and agrees to let them manage his portfolio for a 1% fee. He rationalizes that $1,500 a year is a fair price for professional financial peace of mind. This is a chart tracking Marcus's portfolio over his 30-year career. As his salary climbs and he keeps saving diligently, compounding interest pushes the balance toward $3 million. The fee grows in lockstep with the savings. The initial $1,500 annual cost balloons into $15,000, then $25,000, then $40,000 a year. By the time he retires, Marcus has lost more than $500,000 to fees. The actual labor required to manage a portfolio rarely scales with its size. Rebalancing a $3 million account involves the same index funds and the same annual review as a $100,000 one, but the cost increases by a factor of 20. The percentage model functions like a success tax. The more diligently you save, the more you are punished by a fee that grows even when the workload does not. This doesn't mean financial advice is a scam. A competent advisor is often worth the money, a fact supported by Vanguard's own industry research. In their Advisors Alpha study, Vanguard found that a skilled advisor can add around 3% in net value to your returns each year. They achieve this through unglamorous things like asset location and, most importantly, behavioral coaching. Morningstar runs an annual study called Mind the Gap that puts a strict dollar figure on exactly why that coaching is so critical. This bar chart shows the reality of human error in investing. Over a 10-year period, the average U.S. fund returned about 8.2%, but the average investor in those funds only earned 7%. That 1.2% gap is the cost of buying high and selling low. A good advisor earns their keep by acting as a barrier between your worst impulses and your life savings. They keep you in your seat when the market gets scary. Professional advice offers a measurable return on investment. The danger to your retirement is a pricing model that scales that cost indefinitely as your savings grow. The percentage model is not the only option on the menu. The primary alternative is a flat fee advisor. They charge a fixed annual dollar amount, regardless of whether you have $1 million or $10 million. On a $4 million portfolio, a 1% fee demands $40,000 a year. A flat fee advisor might charge $10,000 for the exact same service. That $30,000 difference stays in your account every single year. Reinvesting that $30,000 turns the math in your favor. Over 20 years, those savings compound into an extra $1.1 million for your retirement. Investors with simpler needs can look for advice-only or hourly planners. You pay for a few hours of professional time to build a strategy, then execute it yourself using low-cost index funds. Securing your retirement is about getting the help you need while decoupling the cost of that help from the size of your wealth. You can take control of any advisor relationship by demanding they act as a fiduciary. This is a legal requirement to put your financial interests ahead of their own commission. To protect your savings, you must drag invisible fees into the light. Ask exactly what you will pay this year and in 20 years in actual dollars, not percentages. An honest advisor will answer this without hesitation. Ask for flat fee options and demand a specific list of services, like tax planning or withdrawal strategies, to justify that dollar amount. Never let a number stay invisible just because it sounds small. By forcing percentages into compounding dollars, you take back the power to keep the wealth you actually built.